Today I'll test my Zendure SolarFlow 2400 Pro before and after adding one extra AB3000L battery. Same tests, same conditions, same 1000 watt output. So, will one extra battery really make a difference? Let's find out. For some time now, I have been using the Zendure SolarFlow 2400 Pro as part of my home energy setup. The system has been working very well, helping me store energy during the day and use it later when needed. Overall, the experience has been very good, especially in improving self-consumption and reducing dependency on the electrical grid. However, over time, my daily energy consumption started increasing, and this is something many users eventually experience. At first, battery capacity may feel sufficient, but as energy demand grows, things begin to change. More appliances are running, more power is being used, and more energy is needed during peak hours. This naturally raises an important question. What happens when battery capacity is no longer enough? And can adding extra battery storage make a meaningful difference in real-world performance? That is exactly what I want to test today. I will upgrade my Zendure SolarFlow 2400 Pro system using the AB3000L battery expansion, then compare the system before and after the upgrade using real-world testing. Before installing the AB3000L battery expansion, I want to test the current performance of my existing system. This will give us a clear baseline for comparison. First, I fully charge the battery to 100%. Now the system is fully charged and ready for testing. The first test is discharge performance. For this test, I configure the system to inject a constant 1000 watts. The goal is to measure real runtime under controlled output conditions. This allows us to observe how long the battery can sustain stable power delivery. The test starts at 100% battery level. At the beginning, output remains stable and power delivery looks smooth. Everything appears normal. As time passes, battery percentage gradually decreases. At 75%, performance remains stable. At 50%, output still looks smooth and consistent. At 25%, the system continues delivering stable power. Finally, the battery reaches the minimum discharge level of 5%. Now the discharge test is complete. This gives us the first important benchmark, the total runtime of the system under 1000 watt constant output. Next, we move to charging performance from the main grid. For this test, charging power is set to around 800 watts. Now we measure how long the battery takes to recharge from low battery back to full capacity. Charging performance looks stable. Power flow remains smooth. Battery percentage increases steadily. This gives us our second benchmark, grid charging performance. Finally, let's also observe solar charging performance. This is especially important because solar charging is the main purpose of this system. Here we can see solar energy flowing into the battery. Charging speed depends on solar conditions and available sunlight. Under stable solar input, charging performance looks good. Now we have baseline data. We clearly understand how the system performs before the upgrade. Now it is time for the main part of this video, the upgrade. This is the Zendure AB3000L battery expansion. The purpose of this upgrade is simple: increase battery capacity, store more energy, and improve runtime. One of the biggest advantages of the Zendure ecosystem is scalability. Instead of replacing the entire system, you can simply expand battery capacity based on your needs. This makes the system much more flexible, especially for users whose energy demand continues growing over time. The battery design looks clean, build quality feels solid, and installation is straightforward. Another important factor is safety. Battery safety is extremely important in any energy storage system. Zendure includes multiple safety protections, including battery management and thermal protection systems. This improves safety during long-term daily use. Now let's connect the battery and complete the upgrade. Installation is simple and clean. The battery integrates directly with the existing system. Everything is designed for easy expansion. After connecting everything properly, the system is ready. Now let's power it on. Immediately after startup, the system recognizes the additional battery capacity. This is the first visible improvement. We now have more total energy available. Now the upgraded system is fully ready. The AB3000L battery expansion has been installed successfully, and the system is operating normally. At this point, the most important step is testing the system again under exactly the same conditions. This is the only way to make a fair comparison. Same testing process, same settings, and the same power output. This allows us to clearly measure how much difference the additional battery capacity makes in real-world performance. So let's begin with the first test. Discharge performance. Just like before, I start by charging the battery to 100%. Now the upgraded system is fully charged and ready for testing. For this test, I once again configure the system to inject a constant 1000 watts. The test starts at 100% battery level. At the beginning, output power looks stable. Power delivery is smooth and consistent. Everything is operating normally. As time passes, battery percentage starts gradually decreasing. At 75%, performance remains stable. Output power continues without fluctuations. Everything still looks normal. Now the battery reaches 50%. Power delivery remains smooth. The system continues operating exactly as expected. Now battery level reaches 25%. Even at this stage, output remains stable. No sudden drops. No instability. The system continues delivering power consistently. Eventually, the battery reaches the minimum discharge level of 5%. Now the discharge test is complete. This gives us the most important result: total runtime after the upgrade. And this is where the biggest difference becomes visible. With the additional battery capacity, runtime is clearly improved. This becomes especially useful during peak consumption periods, when household energy demand is at its highest. Longer runtime means more stored energy remains available exactly when it is needed most. Now let's move to the second test. Grid charging performance. Just like before, charging power is set to around 800 watts. Charging starts smoothly. Power flow remains stable. Battery percentage rises steadily. Charging behavior looks consistent and predictable. This is important for long-term daily operation, especially for systems that go through frequent charging cycles. Now let's move to the third test. Solar charging performance. This is another important part of the test. Here we can see solar energy flowing into the upgraded battery system. Charging performance looks stable. Power flow remains smooth. This is where the larger battery capacity becomes even more useful. Because more capacity means more solar energy can be captured and stored during the day. Instead of reaching full capacity too early, the system can continue storing energy for longer periods. That means less wasted solar production, more stored energy, and more usable power available later in the day. Overall, the upgraded system feels significantly more capable. Not only because of the increased battery capacity, but because the entire system becomes more flexible, more efficient, and better prepared for real-world energy demands. Now let's compare the results. Before the upgrade, battery capacity was more limited. Runtime under constant 1000 watt output was shorter. Available stored energy was lower. Grid charging performance was stable. And solar charging performance was already good. After installing the AB3000L battery expansion, the difference becomes very clear. Battery capacity increased significantly. Runtime under 1000 watt constant output improved noticeably. This means more usable energy during peak consumption periods. Grid charging remains stable and consistent. And solar charging becomes even more useful because the system can store more available solar energy. This reduces wasted solar production, it improves self-consumption, and it reduces dependency on the electrical grid. For users with growing energy demand, this can make a meaningful difference in daily use. So is the upgrade worth it? In my opinion, yes. If your current battery capacity is no longer enough for your daily energy needs, expanding the system is a very practical upgrade. Instead of replacing the entire setup, adding battery capacity is often the smarter solution. Overall, the AB3000L makes the Zendure SolarFlow system more capable, more flexible, and better prepared for real-world energy demands. If you actually build electronics projects and don't want to waste time with trial and error, I've created a members-only lab on Ko-fi. You'll find tested schematics, accurate BOMs, real power system experiments, and project reviews for serious builds. The link is in the description. Build smarter, not harder.